Good afternoon from Raleigh, North Carolina. It is Thanksgiving Day here. Not everybody's off. You probably hear something in the distance, perhaps. There are some folks working on, some apartment buildings, trying to build them and bring them up, I guess. It being Thanksgiving reminded me that also, unfortunately, we had a terrible accident here in Raleigh where someone lost their life in a parade. The brakes were faulty. Unfortunate and terrible. But it also reminded me of another parade. This parade happened before Thanksgiving, but it was considered a Christmas parade. Why is that? Because, Thanksgiving is part of greater Christmas, greater holiday season. I've always told people this, people say, well, if it's November, you shouldn't be thinking about Christmas. You know what? Look, that's what I think about. I think about Christmas. Once we get past Halloween, I need my Christmas. So, at any rate, it looked kind of weird to me. But at any rate, it got me thinking of the Christmas parade that they would have in Waukesha. Waukesha, Wisconsin, is the county seat of Waukesha. It's actually in greater Milwaukee. It's 18 miles away from Milwaukee. I remember someone would always say it's between Milwaukee and Madison. It's 60 miles away from Madison, so I don't know that. But anyway, every year they would have a Christmas parade. And I lived in Waukesha for 4 years. Now, you may have heard of this. Not that I lived in Waukesha for 4 years, but the Christmas parade. You may have heard of it because a fellow decided to drive a vehicle, if you will, into the parade, killing quite a few people, injuring quite a few people. It was horrible. And this wasn't an accident. This was intentional. It was horrible. And it made me feel real bad because some of my fondest memories in life were at that parade. When I first moved, if you will, into Waukesha, actually moved into a condominium, and we had a spot that, I'm saying we, but things have changed. But we had a spot, if you will, that overlooked Main Street. It was pretty cool. It was right in downtown Waukesha. And got it for a steal. Well, actually, it rented it originally, but anyway. And so, every year they would have, if you will, this Christmas parade. Which happened before Thanksgiving. And it was cool. They had the dancing grannies. They had some guy who loved to get a, one of those hot air balloon blower things. And you see these flames coming up. Trying to think what else they had. I think they might have had some guy in stills. I think there was some roller thing and bands. And we just had a perfect view. I'm thinking that eventually we moved to another one that didn't have that view. So we'd have to get a little, so we had to figure out another way to watch it because we couldn't do it from the balcony. But it was just one of the most beautiful things. All of this happening in this, the city wasn't any more than 60,000 people. So it was a small city, a small city over a county that probably was at the time about 300,000 plus, if my memory serves me correct. I think of, so many memories that I've had, and sometimes I think of stuff that hurts. A lot of stuff I've had that has hurt. But the Waukesha Parade was one of the was one of the things where, you know, didn't hurt. Actually, was sorry about the heater there, but it didn't hurt. It was beautiful. I couldn't think of anything that was wrong with it. You know, and then you have some guy who decides to just plow into it. You know, at the time of this recording, I think they have come to a sentencing. And this guy is almost assuredly not to see the light of day. They don't have the death penalty in Wisconsin. Granted, the previous governor, the one before this one, the one before Tony Evers, did want it. You know, he actually wanted the death penalty, but, you know, he was never able to pull that off. I love living in Waukesha, which was interesting because their politics were radically different from mine. Waukesha was, if it wasn't the most conservative county in the state, it was definitely the most conservative big county in the state. One of the more conservative places I've lived. I mean, I don't know if it was as conservative as Lubbock, Texas, or if it was conservative as, you know, where I worked when I taught at Utah Valley University in Orem. Well, it was pretty conservative. And, but with that being said, they were pretty cool people, you know. And it was just a shame to hear something like that happen to them. Well, at any rate, I don't want to be on this thing forever, so take care and goodbye.